Howdy ho, my peeps. I'm all hot and sweaty. It's just about 6 o'clock in the evening on a Friday, and I just came in from raking weed eating leavings onto a big old tarp, hooking it up to the back of my golf cart and dragging it all up to the burn pile. It is the 25th of April, and we are still not done with rain. It's been cloudy and kind of dismal all day long, and we've got rain coming tonight, some rain tomorrow. Might be a minor, third of an inch, quarter of an inch, or we could see half an inch, 3/4 of an inch. And here in California, that's a lot of rain in one storm. So I am going to, stay in tonight. I'm going to spend a lot of time in my kitchen. Hang on a minute. Yes, darling, what can I do for you? Grant just came in.
Who do you want me to light the fire?
Would I go in there? Yeah.
How soon will that be?
About 15 minutes.
Okay.
Grant's so sweet. I've been so cold all the time, and I don't know why. I mean, it's 68 degrees in our house. I shouldn't be cold, but I am cold. Anyhow, he's laid a beautiful fire, and he just came in to ask me when should he set it off, because he didn't want me to miss how beautiful it's going to be. What a sweet man. Okay, so so anyhow, we've got rain coming in. I am excited. We will probably have at least one more, probably more than one more burn day. So I want to try to make sure I get as much drying grasses into the pile as I can before the end of burn season and the beginning of fire season. So that's just by way of hidey-ho and introduction. Now, as you guys know, I avoid the political. I didn't always, but I have been for the past 5 years or so. When you're, for as minute of a public face as I am a public face, and anybody can come and watch my videos and comment, for or against, as long as they don't harass my other commenters. They're cool. If they start harassing you guys, they get deleted and blocked. But, they can come at me with anything they want. I have developed a very thick skin. Anyhow, so yeah, rarely talk about anything political. But today, I am going to talk about something political, but not in the usual way people are arguing about their positions, right? Instead, what I'm doing is I want to read you a comment that I left on a Facebook post about censorship and how it destroys the human spirit. And then I want to read to you a response that I got, and then my response to the response. And just put it out there. For those of you who are triggered by political talk, please don't watch this. It's just going to ruin your day. For those of you who are interested and watching the ping pong game of death that we're all involved in right now, and I mean worldwide, not just here, then hang out. See what you think about what I have to say. Okay, so I'm using my teleprompter because all of this has been written down, so I'm going to go ahead and read it off the teleprompter. Okay, so I recently commented on a Facebook reel about freedom of thought. It was posted by this Chinese woman who understands firsthand the dangers of censorship in service to political power. So here is my comment to that reel. And I'm going to try to link it. I don't know if I can cross-post a Facebook reel to YouTube, but I'm going to give it a try. So, this was my response to the reel. This week, the Grossmont School District in El Cajon, California, voted 4-1 in favor of firing all the high school librarians, along with some of the school psychologists and other teachers and staff. This is a rich school district, so their excuse for cost cutting was hollow, especially given the fact that the district has over 4 times the amount of reserved funds as is required by the state. Closing of the libraries entirely may follow. The real reason is in service to Project 2025 agenda, that's my opinion, parenthetically, which seeks to crush protections of the LGBTQ community and others. Of course, all students will suffer from not having a library for retreat, study, and social safety. Concurrently, the school district recently created 2 new positions, which each pay about $250,000 per year. So that's $500,000 going to these 2 new people. One of them is a PR director, and the other is a chief of staff for someone. This video illustrates both the evil of political boot heels and the inventive and indomitable spirit of courageous humans. If you think this story isn't possible in the USA, think again and be ready. So go watch that if you guys want to and come back. One of the commenters, who I'm not going to name right now, I don't think that her name matters, this was her comment back to me. So, is your truest complaint that LGBTQ books won't be available to students? There are many who claim Project 2025 is a hoax, blaming Trump for what's happening to school librarians and libraries shows a great lack of insight and knowledge about what's been happening in the U.S. for years. Communism has snuck into the minds and hearts of so many Americans over the last 50 to 60 years through subversive plans and activities of China in this country. I can tell you that already, 2 to 3 years before Trump became president, that librarians were being cut from the district and school budgets in many states and places in America. Do the research. Communism is alive and well in America and becomes more powerful as people are brainwashed without realizing it. Wake up. Well, there's a lot to unpack in that comment. And I have to say that I appreciate how the commenter set up some easily knocked over bowling pins, and I am only going to address one of them in this video, although there are a number of others that I'll probably address in subsequent videos. I counted at least 6 other topics to which I could reply. So, instead of becoming paragraph woman in that Facebook thread, I've decided that I will address her comment in its entirety here on my channel. I will send the commenter a link to the playlist and invite her over here to challenge my opinions. So, this is my reply to what I just read to you. I didn't mention LGBTQ books. I mentioned LGBTQ students. Books are a separate issue, but since you brought it up, I'll go ahead and give my opinion. Art imitates life. The reason there are LGBTQ books is that there are LGBTQ people. There have always been LGBTQ people, but for much of Western history, they've been hidden, primarily as a result of the Catholic and post-Reformation Christian church's influence and control over Western society. Whether or not LGBTQ people are damned is God's question to answer. But in many other cultures, they're recognized and accommodated. If you want to view them, the LGBTQ community, as flawed, ask yourself why we accommodate other human flaws, birth defects, handicaps, accidental mutilation, low intelligence, brain disorders, and the like, but not LGBTQ. Why do we make room for those flaws? Allow books about them, provide curb cutouts and talking stop signs so they can cross the streets more safely. Teach our kids that they exist. There is a huge niche of the educational materials market, which is what I retired out of, dedicated to assistance for handicapped kids. Handicapped is an archaic term, so that's quoted. If, as we're assuming for the sake of this argument, that LGBTQ kids are flawed, why don't they receive the same accommodations? I think it's because their flaw, and again, I'm being hyperbolic, personally hyperbolic when I say flaw because I don't believe they're flawed, is sexual in nature. And Western Christendom crosses its legs and clutches its pearls at sex, the dirtiest four-letter word there is. Unless, of course, it exists in smutty books that never make it into a school library, like 50 Shades of Grey. And if that book is in any school libraries, it shouldn't be, nor should the works of de Sade either, but that's a separate argument. Did you protest against that book, 50 Shades of Grey, when it was published and became so popular? How about the song WAP? What about this season's Oscar trends of transparent dresses without underwear? Your children, if you have any, saw many of those things and many, many more. You told me to wake up. Now I'll tell you the same. Wake up and ask yourself why you feel the way you do. Be honest with yourself. Are you using your gray cells, the ones God gave you for critical thinking? Or are you simply reacting emotionally? I will leave you with this. In high school, when I was a nerdy, socially awkward girl with learning disorders, seeking community with other misfit teens in the library, one librarian told me something that I've never forgotten. Probably the best advice I've ever received from anyone who wasn't my mom or dad. She said, Cheryl, it's not enough to know what the answer is. In order to truly know something, you must always seek to know why. Again, ask yourself why you feel the way you do. Enlightenment fuels a strong and healthy social fabric. So, go fuel yourself. So there you go. I'm going to send this link to her and see if she comes over and tells me whatever she's going to tell me. And I hope she does, because anything to keep my little gray cells moving and thinking and alert. I don't do that Sudoku thing. So this is what I do to keep myself thinking. And those of you who stuck with us and listened through to the end, thank you so much. Please leave your comments, positive, negative, and otherwise. And thanks. And I will see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.